When we talk about Woodstock '99, we always talk about the fire, but we forget the most important part, the lineup. In July 1999, the organizers didn't just book bands, they booked the undisputed kings of the glorious nu metal era. Metallica, Rage Against the Machine, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Korn, Limp Bizkit. It was the Avengers of heavy music. 400,000 kids traveled to Rome, New York, not to riot, but to see the greatest rock show on earth. And for the first 24 hours, that is exactly what they got. The energy wasn't toxic yet, it was electric. It was the peak of the CD era, where rock bands were still global superstars. The problem wasn't the music, it was the venue. Instead of a green farm like 1969, the festival was held at Griffiths Air Force Base. It was miles of flat, black tarmac and concrete. There were no trees, there was no shade, and the temperature hit 100 degrees. The organizers had built a literal oven. On top of that, they confiscated water at the gates and charged $4 per bottle inside. Highway robbery in 1999. The crowd was hot, thirsty, and broke. But when the band started playing, nobody cared about the heat. They were running on pure adrenaline. Friday night belonged to Korn. This is widely considered one of the greatest live performances in metal history. When they dropped into the song Blind, the crowd of 200,000 people didn't just jump, they rippled like a tsunami. Seismographs in the area reportedly picked up the vibrations. It was scary, but it was awe-inspiring. Jonathan Davis, in his kilt, commanded the crowd like a general. At this moment, Woodstock '99 was a triumph. The energy was unified. It felt like the heavy metal version of the original Woodstock, a massive community of outcasts coming together to scream. Saturday brought a different kind of intensity. Rage Against the Machine took the stage, and the vibe shifted from party to rebellion. This was a band that preached revolution, and they were playing to a crowd that was being exploited by greedy promoters. It was the perfect match. At the climax of their set, the band burned an American flag on stage during Killing in the Name. The crowd went feral. It wasn't violence yet. It was catharsis. The fans were channeling their anger at the $4 water and the overflowing toilets through the music. It was powerful, political, and exactly what rock and roll is supposed to be. Then came the turning point. Limp Bizkit. In July 1999, Fred Durst was the most famous rock star on the planet. The band was tight, heavy, and undeniable. When they played Break Stuff, the friction between the amazing music and the terrible festival conditions finally snapped. Fred Durst famously told the crowd to let it all out. And they did. They started surfing on plywood ripped from the walls. They climbed the sound towers. It was visually spectacular. A sea of humanity totally out of control. But the Peace Patrol security guards were terrified. The music was so powerful it literally incited a riot. Remarkably, after the chaos of Limp Bizkit, Metallica took the stage and actually calmed the crowd down. They played a 2-hour set of pure, professional thrash metal. James Hetfield controlled the audience with a look. For a few hours, the fires went out, and it was just about the legacy of the biggest metal band in history. It proved that the crowd wasn't mindless. They just needed leadership. Metallica delivered a masterclass in performance. If the festival had ended right there, Woodstock '99 would be remembered as a massive success. But there was still Sunday night. Sunday night, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. The promoters handed out 100,000 candles for a vigil during Under the Bridge. It was meant to be a beautiful visual. But as the band played Fire, a Jimi Hendrix cover, the crowd used those candles to light bonfires. From the stage, it looked apocalyptic. From the mosh pit, it looked like a war zone. The audio towers caught fire. The vendor tents were looted. The music didn't stop, but the festival was dying. It was a tragic, beautiful, terrifying end to the '90s. Woodstock '99 is complicated. It was a logistical disaster, a humanitarian nightmare, and a PR catastrophe. But strictly musically, it was legendary. It was the last time rock music was the center of the universe. It was the last time 400,000 people gathered in one place to headbang. The images of the fire ruined the reputation of the festival, but the performances by Korn, Limp Bizkit, and Metallica remain the gold standard of stadium rock. It was the best concert and the worst festival, happening at the exact same time. To keep exploring the moments that defined music history, hit subscribe and join our journey through the archives.